begins its westward journey in the city of Toronto. Toronto is Canada's largest city. It is the capital of Ontario and one of the truly great cities of the world. It stands on Lake Ontario, a glittering metropolis of steel and eye-catching architecture. It has a population of over 3 million people and includes 80 different ethnic groups. The UN cited Toronto as the most ethnically diverse city in the world. Dominating the skyline is the CN Tower. It looms over the city and has become Toronto's best-known landmark. Toronto is one of North America's most active cities. The sidewalks are crowded with business people during the lunch hour, and at the end of the day, commuters use the city's extensive subway system, commuter rail services, and far-reaching public transportation as they return to their homes. It is a city that has exploded in a few short decades, from being a somewhat sleepy town to a dynamic, action-packed, world-class city. Canadian cities have done well in preserving their downtown cores. In most Canadian cities, vast indoor shopping malls have been built in the center of the downtown. The Eaton Centre on Yonge Street is one of Canada's largest downtown shopping malls. It has helped to keep the central city a vibrant center of retail trade by bringing to the people of Toronto a style of shopping that has become expected. Canada's cold winters make these enclosed cities within cities great places to shop. The old City Hall, built in 1899, stands next to the new City Hall. Both are in the heart of downtown. Boating and sailing are popular activities during the summer months, and ferries cross the water to the many islands that stand just offshore. Toronto was started on the site of Fort York in 1793. Against a backdrop of the city skyline, a guide demonstrates how the muskets were loaded and used against the Americans during the War of 1812. When the war ended in 1815, the long era of friendly U.S. and Canadian relations began. But we're here to board the train. Downtown, only a short distance from the lake, stands Toronto's historic Union Station, an imposing stone structure built jointly by the Canadian Pacific and the Canadian National in 1927. Across the street is the Royal York Hotel. This is Canada's largest hotel with 1,600 rooms. It was built in 1929 by the Canadian Pacific as a natural extension of their rail services. Here at the Royal York, we'll spend the night before our departure, and breakfast will be brought to us in our suite. The Canadian railroads built towering castle-like hotels across the nation that are as much a part of the railroad's history as the trains themselves. Shortly before our train is scheduled to depart, we'll call for the bellman. He'll arrive at our door and escort us and our luggage across the street into the station and take our bags directly to the train. Inside the cavernous main hall, the clock ticks off the minutes as the train is preparing to leave. On the board, all of the scheduled departures are listed, including ours, the number 1 train to Vancouver, the Canadian, Canada's transcontinental train. The ticket agents work quickly, making changes. Unlike airline agents who arrange only seats, train agents handle the berths and must sort out sleeping car problems as well. The crowd gathers, awaiting the opening of the platform by the train personnel. Meanwhile, the train has arrived from the switching yard, and the VIA personnel are busy trackside loading the train. Fuel must be loaded in both locomotives, luggage is brought to the baggage car, and the stewards are busy tidying up the bedrooms and berths. The galley staff loads the food and supplies which will be needed on this transcontinental trip to prepare meals for the passengers aboard the train. Once the preliminary preparations have been made, the station agent will open the platform, and the passengers will stroll alongside the silver train looking for their compartments and cars. At 12:45, the conductor shouts, "All aboard." The locomotives power up, the motors are engaged, and the Canadian pulls out of Toronto's Union Station on a journey that will end 3 days and 2,800 miles later on the shores of BC. So sit back, relax, and welcome to the wonderful world of the train.